Daith da, Obi Nakan. Welcome to podcast number 96. Now, as I start this one, I ain't really sure which way he's going to go. Because next week's podcast is going to be a bit up in the air. So this week I might talk for a longer bit and have a smaller bit of Tony, Wendy and Steve, or vice versa. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes anyway. But to say it might be, I know next week's it's going to be a little bit different again. And of course, last week the podcast was weird because I spoke to you on the Monday. And like I said, me and Days, we went up to England, up to Wembley to see AC/DC. And it was fantastic. I tell you, it really was. Although I have to say my right ear was still suffering 3 or 4 nights later. Hang of a loud. But it took me back to my childhood, to my mid-teens. Like, when I discovered AC/DC, I think I was about 15. And I think it was Steve Powell that put them on to me. And the first I heard was the album, I think it was Highway to Hell, when it came out. Or it might have been If You Want Blood. Might have been. And I thought, what is this? It just blew me away. And we went up, had quite a good trip up, which was good. And we got to Wembley. It was blimmin' cold. It really was. You wouldn't think it was the middle of summer. And when AC/DC come on, the power of their guitars, the drums, fantastic. I must admit, Brian Johnson's voice was a little bit hit and miss a little bit at times, but when you think he's 76, he still hit most of the notes. And they played for over 2 hours. Absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, when you leave in Wembley then, we was a couple miles from where we were staying. So then 'tis getting the bus back and chaos. Absolutely terrible traffic chaos there. And then the next day we were driving home. And we still got 70 odd miles to go on the motorway. And we coming up, I think it was towards Bridgewater, if I'm right. And the woman on the sat-nav told me to go off. Don't stay on the motorway. Well, everything up ahead looked fine. And I thought, well, what do I do? And I've always trusted this woman on the sat-nav because she can pronounce Eglosale right. So that's a good start. So I said to Days, we'll go off here. So we did go off. We went through country lanes for a mile or so. Then we went over the motorway a bit further down. And I tell you what, the traffic, 6 lanes, just stopped. Engines turned off. People stood out leaning against their cars. So luckily, we listened to her. And it took us, it was a delay of 45 minutes in the end because we did go through this one town where it was gridlocked because everybody else that hadn't got on the motorway was trying to do shortcuts. And I think it was down to somebody that was trying to jump off the bridge or, threatening to jump. And I heard that the motorway was actually shut for 4 hours. So we was lucky that we listened to her. So that was good. So I managed to get back Thursday mid-afternoon. So I was back in work by late afternoon. And then Friday we had a couple of funerals. Now, Friday evening, I was up Withiel. And if you see the title AC/DC and Withiel WI, I bet you never thought you would hear they two in one sentence. But I was contacted a little while ago and they asked if I would come and do a little talk. Well, I've only ever done one of these talks before. So I thought, I don't know. I thought, yeah, go for it. And even though I've never lived with you, I might have said before, it almost feels like going home. It really does, because that's where on the Bray side, that's where we all come from. And I passed Besneaves, where Father was born, just about a mile down the road from Withiel. And then I went in Withiel Village Hall, and my grandpa, he was only born, 50 yards away from the hall, something like that. So I give me talk, and yeah, all went well. It went very good. Really, it was based on me early podcasts, my memories and talking about different things. I did talk about Lanern, which is one of the podcasts. And we're actually at Lanurn tomorrow. But the nuns that I was talking about then, obviously they've gone. But yeah, it was a proper evening. I did really enjoy it, actually. All went well. And then Saturday, I did work most of the day. Sunday again, I did work most of the day. But I did manage to get 2 or 3 hours off, and I whipped up Showground. And up there was the Bike Festival Southwest. And you might have seen it advertised. 'Tis the second year it's been going now. And really, 'tis like a festival where you would go up and camp. You got 3 days. They got a fun fair there. 'Tis all things like motorbike orientated. And it was started by Stuart Quinney. And then in the evenings, they have groups playing, like tribute groups, AC/DC tribute group. Pink Floyd was another one. And I've been messaging with Bob Walker, and I knew that they was all going up. So I thought I'd try and pop up and bump into they as well. So I did go up on the Sunday afternoon for a couple of hours. I had a good look around, some lovely bikes there. When I went up, they just finished judging the motorbike, the classics and customs motorbikes. And there were some lovely choppers and everything there. So I timed that just right, really. And then I did bump into Bob and Carol and Barb and Mark. So we had a little photograph there done. And say they camped up there. They was up there all weekend. And I didn't get a chance to speak to Stuart. I did see Sue Quinney. So I had a quick word with her. But yeah, it was a lovely afternoon, rather. And I was going to pop up in the evening to see the Pink Floyd tribute act. But unfortunately, I got called out and that idea went. But hopefully they'll run it again next year. I say this is the second year, and every year as these things go on, they usually get bigger and better. But it was nice to pop up there. Jumping back a bit, actually, when we was up in England for AC/DC, my phone was going mad. He was pinging, there's messages, notifications coming through. And I looked at it, and what had happened was that the press release had come out, which announced the fact that I had been made the patron of the John Betjeman Centre. Now, I like to think of it as patron saint, but yes, no, it is a patron. And honestly, I was thrilled when they asked me to do this. I did put a little bit, they said, would you like to say a few words? And I said in the press release, the Betjeman Centre, the building's always been there. When I was young, first of all, obviously the railway station was still there. But when I was growing up in the 70s, it was all empty and derelict. And me and my mates, we used to, you could sneak in there, like, you know, and no windows or anything. You could actually get in the good shed and just play around. So it was an unofficial kind of playground for us for a few years. And then Dr. Gordon Kinsman Barker, he was here at the time, and he was on Weybridge Concern for the Aged. I think he was the chairman. And if I'm right, Father was the secretary. Father was on the committee, and they started fundraising, and they actually bought these buildings, and then they transformed them into the John Betjeman Centre. So obviously with Father's connection right from the early beginnings of the centre, when they asked me, I just didn't hesitate, because it just felt it was going full circle. I felt really good. And I say it was started back then for the over 50s, but now I think 'tis for the over 18s. Well, I qualified for over 50s, but I think 'tis for over 18s. But they do so many things down there, and 'tis a lovely atmosphere, I must admit, a really nice atmosphere. So you want to go on their website. They've always got activities on, and have a look and see what's on. But say I was delighted to be asked, and I expect I'll be mentioning a lot of things about the centre over the coming months and maybe years. And then 'twas back to work again on Monday, and we've had a busy week, really, quite a busy week. Tuesday, you may have seen on our announcements, we had the funeral of an old family friend, Joan Butler. And dear of her, she was 102. And we go back, our families go back a long way. when Mother used to live up Outlands, in between jobs for a while, she worked for Joan and her husband, and they run the Borough Arms there in Bodmin. And Mother, I could be going back, 60, 70 years now. Mother was a young woman at the time. So go back a long time, really. But, dear Joan, she lived to be 102. And it was a fantastic turnout. As you can imagine, there weren't many of her schoolmates there. But having said that, the chapel was full. They was standing outside. It was fantastic. And then the next day we had dear Clifford's funeral. And you might have seen the photo on our Facebook page, because we had the Triumph Bonneville motorbike and sidecar hearse. And obviously Clifford was a big biker early on, years ago, loved his bike. And so that was good. And I'm sure he come from Besneaves area where Father did, because I knew he knew Father. They knew each other all their lives. So I think Clifford was, about 3 years younger than Father. But, so that's another old connection, really, which, like I say, being a family undertakers here, you just see it all the time. So now I think we will have a little bit more of Tony, Wendy and Steve from up Camelford. And normally when I have an interview, you find a natural break where you can kind of think, right, this will be this week's episode, and then I can break it there, and then that'll be next week. But as next week is going to be a bit different, it might not be this week. I might just stop it anywhere. We'll see how it goes anyway. But I think we'll go over to they three now. I've had some brilliant responses. People loved the interview last week, and I'm sure you'll like this too, and the following one, because there will be this one and another one. But I'll go over to they three now, and then I'll speak to you directly. So here goes. So after the accident, that's when the shop started. Is that right?
Yeah.
After a little while, Dave come down, didn't they? Your brother Dave. And he said, Coochie's is moving, and they've got the place up there with a flat above and
a car garage. But he didn't want no cars because he just up the road right there.
Yeah.
So,
well, he didn't know.
But he had to move because he had petrol pumps on the pavement.
Oh, I see.
And that was when they brought law in that they had to be so many feet.
That's why we can't have no open fires or nothing up here because petrol pumps are still.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they don't want no open fire.
So when I come up and realised how cheap it was and what I had for my money.
Yeah.
But we had a job to get a blooming loan on it at the time, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because he in his hand and one thing and another, and we had money. We always had money. We had enough to put deposit.
Yeah. But a bit stored away there.
Yeah.
And went to see Mick Hartley. Do you know Mick Hartley?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
He was a solicitor then, and I knew him through his missus at the time. That in the missus he hadn't got now because we all had kids in the playgroup together.
Oh yeah.
And eventually he sorted us out someone, didn't he?
Yeah, I said I want to borrow 15 grand.
Yeah.
I had the rest of the money to pay for the place, didn't I? And he said, leave it with me in about 10 minutes. He phoned me back and said, yeah, got the money for you.
Really?
We done it, but we did because it was hell of high interest rate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But somehow we did it and we struggled through it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Once he got better and we got the business and that running, then the bank, they took it over, so we had a proper mortgagey thing then on it. Yeah. But we had this private loan and the interest rate was colossal.
Some we lent me 10 grand, some we lent me 5 grand.
Yeah, just private owners, and they had they had a good return on their money, which fair enough. But how we done it? But we did, didn't we? We struggled on and sold a few bits here and the bit carried on, didn't they?
I brought up here 20 CF Bedford Vandals, didn't I? And I moved up from Ziggo.
Good idea.
Second-hand spares.
Did he really?
Yeah, I still got Rivet, then bottom shed really. Steve keeps having got it sorted out. And
once we got up and running and they could see we weren't doing bad and that, and then bank took it over, but then paid me all the other ones off and reversed it.
Didn't we store a lot of it down in Bulldog?
Yes, I did.
Didn't you?
Yeah, down in the middle of Calvert. He said to me, I know Lee quite well. Derek Bulldog. He said, if nothing did steer under my place, you can store all what you've got spare, put it down the way until you get sorted out. So I had a good nip down there to get load and bring back up here.
Yeah.
But
eventually it was all, well, we sorted it, didn't we? And got everything going like that. So you just got to take a chance sometimes.
Oh,
That's
you have.
the bloody best, isn't it?
Yeah. So jumping back then, where did you go after grammar school?
Where did I go after grammar school?
Yeah.
Do you remember Powells in Weybridge's shop?
Yeah.
I heard
I
them
worked
say
out
it.
there for several years.
did he?
Yeah, worked there for several
I couldn't
years.
get cartridges on the sheet, how could I?
Thingy, who was boss up there? Terry Porkin?
Yeah.
Do you know it? He's dead and gone.
Yeah.
But it was his missus. She was a Phil.
Yes, she
Well,
was.
they
That's
Philps
right.
over your way, Glen Road way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go back a bloody long way, I can. We had a dog off him, we had a puppy off him.
Yeah.
Yeah. One that got run over by the school bus.
Did I?
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to school?
Yeah. They lived out on the end there, like on, and
That's
you go
right.
down the road, the end's
Yeah.
there.
That's right.
Yeah. And there was Patrick, there was Maureen, there was Bethany, there was twins. Yeah. Whether Patrick was one of the twins, I don't know. But I can still see him, mate, in my mind's eye. Yeah, I can visualise him. And do you remember the shop called Lorna Doone over up when where you are now? Or I don't know, is it a bridal shop there? Where you had your first undertakers there?
Yeah.
There, as you come across a bridge and look across, there used to be a clothes shop that was called Lorna Doone. She worked in there for a little while.
Yeah.
And then she went up the street. What was that one called? Chapman's?
Oh, there was Chapman's.
Yeah, I think she worked there as well for a little while.
So you was Powells, and where did you
That's
after?
it. That's it.
No, she was a cat.
I worked coach rangers there after Stone Paul's there for a long time.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, when we was together, I used to go
5 years
there
married before we
and-
had Stacey, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because we thought we'd get married young and have a bloody free, go anywhere we want, do what we want. It was right, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And when
I would have killed them if they did what I done back then. I'd get up behind me on a motorbike, no helmet, a pair of flip-flops. Yeah.
cut the corners, hit her tongue in the road.
Yeah, the bloody over there to the bridge and was a bloody man on covers. Oh, I would have killed them lot when I done that. You couldn't do it, you wouldn't be allowed to do it now.
No.
Now get them
Got off that single highway when I went get patrons, I think I'd rob you a new bloody word. I'll raise it.
Only once we nearly had a close call, didn't we? Was that a bonfire night? Or
Yeah,
something?
bonfire night
Yeah.
for St. Hugh Chapel.
Yeah, somebody pulled out.
Come out in front of us.
Yeah, somebody pulled out. But
And
I had to wear a helmet by then.
She wouldn't wear a helmet.
Oh, brilliant.
You'd kill your kids, mate.
Yeah.
Oh.
So then Steve and Donna coming along. So you've always been brought up with bikes, haven't you?
Well, pretty much. I never really got into bikes until I was sort of in the later teens, really.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think the Bantam put me off when I was about 9, 10.
There was only
Go
coming
round up the Everstow, go round a van for an hour. Lovely. You go off up across the Everstow. You can stop every time.
Oh, no.
See me like this.
Yeah,
Bike
right,
about
so-
4 times bigger than I am, pushing it off the Everstow.
I just hair up there.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't really ride a lot till probably once I got on the road with a fizzy. I was 16.
Yeah.
And then started playing around a bit then.
Yeah.
He was racing since he was 16 though, wasn't he?
Yeah, I did my first hill climb when I was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heartland the Key.
Get away.
On a
Murphy up
RM 125.
yeah, RM125.
Nice place to be. The weather's nice, Harley.
Yeah.
Then we went road racing together. Road together.
When did we do that? That must have been about 91, I would have thought. I can't remember very old, was I then? 17, 18?
Yeah.
So,
He said when Stephen
did
beat
Hull
me,
Abingdon.
don't give up. That
Get
didn't,
away.
that didn't take for
well, technically I beat him on the first one.
Well.
I remember him saying that, but Stephen beat me. I'll give up.
I said, when he beat me, I'll give up.
Did North Gloucester, Hull Abingdon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Enfield Circuit's first road race I did, but
Is it? Yeah.
I may have been 17 or 18, and I'm not very sure. Didn't do a lot for a couple of years. Did a bit more North Gloucester, then went rest of the classic stuff, old stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty much full time.
Well, he was trophies on classic, didn't he?
Still did hill climbs and
Yeah.
bit of off roading. Had a break when you went very well, late 90s.
Yeah.
Race up to 97 pretty much every season, then a bit of a break. Well, he went very well,
Yeah.
late 90s. And we started again 2000, I rode till 2004.
All right.
And then went to Cadwell and that was it. Done the weekends, done. That's it. Not doing
He won most.
A good weekend.
Yeah.
But that was a misfiring weekend. All the bikes run bad.
Yeah.
500 wouldn't run very good. I was sponsored by them by a bloke from Axminster called Gordon Hooper.
All right.
Did the national championship rounds, the Group 1 national championship. That was very expensive.
Yeah.
And
His bike cost 32 grand back then to build. Steve Chuckleways
2002 was the first year I rode that bike, and I think it cost him 10 grand to run it the first year I raced that bike. It was absolutely phenomenal money, really, for what you were getting out of it.
Yeah.
It was upselling opposition though, wasn't it?
I'd like to say it was nice to have that opportunity to just turn up and jump on the bike and go.
Yeah.
Steve's like, be up Axminster Wednesday.
Let's go Mallory Park quite often Wednesday
Practice
afternoon, free practice. So you'd go up there, be £35 for the afternoon, get there like 12:30, track it open, 1 o'clock, you'd go out to like 4:30, 2 groups, and then come home, then we go Croft or Snetterton or wherever you were racing on the Friday, so I'd come home Wednesday, then go back up Axminster sometimes Friday morning and go on again.
Yeah.
But
You had the prize money though, didn't he?
yeah,
we did. Because he was
never big money, but you could come home with a couple 100-200 quid on weekends.
Yeah.
But he didn't want the money. He just wanted his bike to be out and show him he's going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I packed that up and went riding enduro, which I'm still attempting now.
Oh, yeah.
Conversing to over 50s.
Yeah, I did the other day.
Yeah, over 50 now.
Over 50 now.
Where did the time go?
It's isn't it?
For a time, when you was 40s,
champion twice.
The Southwest 20 years ago, 2004 Southwest Enduro champion on 250F.
Yeah.
I went expert, and a couple thirds in expert, but I've never had a win.
No.
Is that mainly local? How local was your races there?
Probably Exmoor's was the farthest we went when there was a Southwest Championship.
Yeah.
Got one next week. We're going back.
Looking doubtful now, isn't it?
Yeah. Up Hay Farm
next weekend.
Right, yeah.
30th, there would have been Hay Farm, but entries are really low. And they messaged me last night, so the entries are absolutely...
From Steve got last night. I got 19 entries, haven't I?
I looked at the ACU site this morning because I'm half tempted to enter, but I don't know.
Well, I'll be 20 anyway.
Yeah. I know.
Oh.
You know, you think back a few years ago, you get back to sort of locals round here, you'd be oversubscribed at 125, 30 riders, whatever, and there'd be more wanting to go.
Yeah.
You know, it's just sign of the times, I think.
Yeah.
Nobody spending money.
Well, yeah, like everybody coming in shop was like running like nearly this morning with his campsite and his caravans. Yeah, he said just
Dyer.
He said Royal Cornwall weekend he was busy.
Yeah.
Patronage he hadn't been. He said you get somebody come drive in with an £80,000 camper telling me up 30 quid for a night later.
That's
About right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cup of tea there?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you, Tony.
Well, can't use the facilities best, and they can come and use your facilities, don't pay nothing. Have a shower and wash out and cheers like mine.
Well, there we go. Wasn't that brilliant? And we'll have the final bit next week. Now, I think for my Cornish word of the week, I'll do the word for electric, because obviously we went up to see AC/DC with Brian Johnson. Dear old Angus was on the guitar. I think I did mention on my Facebook, the one thing I did miss was the late Bon Scott. And just as I got into AC/DC, like 1979, well, Bon died a year later in 1980. And he's got to be one of my favourite singers ever. Fantastic voice. But yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd do electric. I'm gone off tangent again there a bit now. So the Cornish word for electric is Tredannic. Tredannic. And I thought for me Cornish dialect of the week, I was talking to one of my other cousins, Richard, at a funeral a few weeks ago. Now, Richard is a brother to Tony that we've just been talking to. And he said a thing that I remembered we used to say when we was younger. Instead of asking another kid, what age was you? You'd say, how old be you called? How old be you called? So that's the Cornish dialect of the week, and that's thanks to Richard reminding me of that. Right, well, I'm going to leave you now. I hope you have a good week, and I'll speak to you next week. Wish you well. Do Guinness. Carnovis Vicken.